This is how I think all EUC pedals should be. Factory out of the box, 0 degrees. And then as we lift it up, we can get it all the way up to 45. Let's move to maximum, and we're sitting on a 14 degree to 15 degree, and that will probably come down about 3 when you put a bit of pressure on it. I think that's perfect. It's got all our laser cut parts, and they are a little bit rough, especially on these big pedals. But we've got 2 projects in here. We've got our pedals, and we got our pedal hanger, and we got our sander. So let's give them a sand. Got them all sanded, and they come up really smooth. All the sharp edges are gone. Still got a few burrs on some of them from the laser cutting process, but for what I'm doing, they're good enough. So smooth. Got our rod sliding in, and the side plate that clamps down when the dream becomes the reality. Well, I've got this mostly assembled now. Still need a few printed parts to go with it. It's looking really nice. Due to the dilemmas that are happening with the pedal, due to me cutting stuff incorrectly, we are going to move on to the stanchion poles. And now on these poles with our metal hanger, these slide on perfectly. Do is we have to cut this profile into here. So we've got the mark out grooves, we've got to cut them. And this will slide straight in and slide up. Okay, time to put it in the vise and get out the cutter. 2 groove cut. Ended up, it's quite soft. Cut it off straight and then flatten it to make it nice and square down the bottom. At the moment it is still a little bit narrow for this, so we've got to widen it up slowly. Looking good. We have it sliding in now. Very clean fitting. And now we just gotta trim. That's looking really good. Got the hole through, and it's a nice snug fit to slide straight in. Well, it's not going to go in here at the moment because we've got to take out the 6mm bolt. Let's do that. Okay, we got the 6mm bolt out. We've got a clear straight hole. We've got our hanger plate that's been cut. Let's drop this straight in and see if we can get it in. This is our first drop in. Oh, look at that. Slides down to the bottom. Very happy with that. No horizontal movement. We can see straight through the hole. We can put this one back in. So that's gone all the way through into our plate at the back. These need to be ground down. That is working, and there's no slop on that. I think that's going to work great. These are plastic. We've got bushings still to add. There's meant to be bushings here, 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 here. So many changes here happening as I'm building. The stainless steel spacers are really nice, but they're very expensive. The aluminium are probably even better. They're more than strong enough, and there's more sizing options. And after I've held them in my hand, I'm definitely liking these aluminium spacers a lot more than the stainless steel. 1 for the price, and 2 for how they look. Got our aluminium plates. This is 8mm with the laser cut. Comes out really nice and very easy to instantly thread. Very pleased. No way I'll be able to do steel, because when you laser cut steel, the edges of the laser cut become molten and rock hard. So aluminium, and these are water cut as well, I believe. This is the first real assembly test. They are looking great. Everything is threaded. All these bolt holes are threaded. The backs are threaded. I've only got one issue, and that's this black spacing. It's just a little too thick. It's printing at about 6.6, and it should be 6mm, no thicker, and that's what's causing this tiny little gap. and that means these bushings are loose and they're not doing their job. These things prevent they give it the center alignment, so there's a fair bit of force on them. That's why I really want the back of these resting on this plate. So I'm reprinting them. We've got them going. I'm going to put the stanchion poles in here so they're all ready and mounted, and then I can just slide them straight up into the wheel. So I'm going to go mount that right now. One of the most important things, this is pretty much a complete hanger, pole, pretty much everything. Ooh, 800 grams, 750. They're going to be identical. There's definitely a lot of opportunity for weight saving in regards to all aluminium parts. Remove some of the steel. But that's pretty good for a prototype. Got our angle grinder pumping, and we are grinding these bolts flat because that's critical, because the motor hub sits here and these cannot protrude any further. Got this one all grinded flat. Now it's time to do the other one. Looking very cleanly cut, I like. With the pedal, with the hanger, we've got a very nice flat pedal, which is what I wanted. Moves up and down, as well as we can see through here. I might need to change a bit of the geometry in here, but it's looking pretty good. And we can absolutely push the support plate in to give us some positioning. And you can see we've got a little bit there. Let's tighten the bolts up here. So after tightening up the bolts inside the side, we can now put a bit of slope on it, and that's crazy amount. I like it. Very nice. Give us an idea of, this is the stock setup how it is now. We're going to be chopping away this bottom 20 mil, so straight across here. So that's the new bottom line, all that's being chopped off. I've raised my packs 12 mil. This has got the 12 mil riser built in. So let's get this pulled apart and pulled out and then compare it left to right. So this is my stock hanger, and I've ground all the edges because as this came down it would sit about here and the tire would bulge out. That's my washer. So that's my stock one. Let's look at that compared to this one. That they are a fair bit of saving there. The vertical height's the same. Okay, well we don't need that. Let's get this bad boy in. My original custom pole out. These are bent. They work great and they're so solid. Inserting our new one. As you can see at the bottom of the bottom, it does rub on the tire catastrophically. Just got to belt this in a bit to get it going up. Nice. That's in and that's sliding smooth. That is very nice. So as we get down to here, you can really see how close it becomes to the tire with your travel. And to give you an idea of the travel, that's about 135 mil sitting down there, and that puts it about there. Now I'm running on 100 mil travel, which is here. That's a full 100. And we're well clear of the tire, and we were 20 mil lower, so let's see what that looks like. I'm very pleased with the alignments. Now we've got a big gap in here. We've just got to remove the spacer block that's sitting here so this can slide all the way up. That time and effort I made making this spacer block. Now I've got to separate these two screws out of it and then slide it back in. Such is research and development. Okay, we got our hanger plate in. It's not bolted in at the top. We'll do that in a second, but it's all secured in here. It's sitting in the correct location. This front bar design here needs to change, but I can leave it how it is for now. I need to make a smaller plate because it's going to interfere with my stand. Yes, wow, what? That is so close. I don't know if I like that. Okay, we've got the hanger on. I've noticed we've got a bit of a, due to the design, we've got a bit of a design flaw that we need to work out, but anyway, minor issues. We've got the batteries bolted in, everything's aligned. We've got a minimal gap down here, but it's within spec of this side. There's still, the outer circle is still the same distance on both sides, but anyway, If we look from the top, we can see the 20mm difference, and we've got our suspension decoupled so we can roll the wheel up. So in the maximum position, we can see we're in line about just under center of the tire, and we're nowhere near it on this side because we've saved 20mm from the base. So we've got a lot of clearance differences. But yeah, I've got to figure out this. Okay, we got the wobble. That's because these side bushings don't allow this outer plate to flex and bend and crush this down. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take out these 4 bushings and we're going to watch the wiggle jiggle disappear. And now we can see we've taken out those 4 bushings. We've still got the black bushing in here, which is the hold at center alignment. And now we have no wiggle jiggle, and we haven't even done it up tight. We've only done it up to torque setting 4. If I want to really torque it. But there's no more wiggle jiggle. Last clearance issue I've got is how close the back plate is, and I need to make this, I think, 4mm or 5mm, because the distance from the motor hub to outer is like 39, and then on the other side we can see it's exactly 39 as well. It's just because the distance I've allowed a little bit more to allow for the plastic and the 6mm steel, so we can easily cut this down to 5 or 4, but everything bolts into it, so it's pretty close. I don't know how much flex there is. We'll find out when we get scratches.